Hi everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching our play reading of Seminar by Teresa Rebeck. Um, I'll be playing the role of Martin. Natalie will be playing the role of Kate. Max will be playing the role of Douglas. Tessa will be playing the role of Izzy, and Drew will be playing the role of Leonard. We just thought this would be a good idea just to do during lockdown. Obviously, you can't go to the stage shows, and obviously the art industry is also kind of being hampered by the whole pandemic. So we just want to have some fun and do this play reading, which Natalie and I did in Wellington in 2018. It was a good time. So if you didn't come along to the show, this is, I guess, a chance to see what it was all about. And of course, Gianina will be our narrator. She is going to read all the stage directions and cue us in for the scene. Enjoy.
Scene 1, an apartment. Izzy, Martin, Kate, and Douglas.
I mean, the place is amazing. The grounds are completely like it's this astonishingly sculpted landscape where everything seems to be sculpted out of trees and water so that the interiority and the exteriority meet. What you are surrounded by is this exquisite, idealized, just completely perfect environment.
Martin, behind him, can't stand all this.
And the buildings almost hover over the grass, like on a hot summer day when the air is so warm that it's tangible. And the manor seems to hover, and there's so much. The trees are so present that you can feel them growing. I'm not kidding. You start to realize the medieval conceptions of magic, frankly, must have been just completely based in a kind of reality. That things were so green and growing all the time, it must have seemed a sort of magic. At least that's what it feels like, because it was just such a creative environment. Everything's so perfectly balanced, the interiority and the exteriority. You know that thing that Indigo Jones was always trying for? There's such a perfect harmony between the interior and the exterior world.
Indigo. You said indigo. It's indigo.
I said indigo.
No, you said indigo.
I said indigo.
It doesn't matter.
Not if you don't care about accuracy in language.
Come on.
But if you do care about accuracy,
I said indigo.
Then it might matter a little.
Anyway, it is an awesome place to write. I mean, McDowell is good too. It's serious, at least. But they don't let just anybody in, which is so necessary. I won't go to any place except Yaddo or McDowell anymore. I mean, pretty much every place else. I mean, let me tell you, the flavor of the desperation is really not to be believed.
What are you working on?
A couple of stories. The one that the New Yorker asked to see. I did another draft of that, and my agent had some thoughts about the novel that I took a look at. He's going out with it next week, but so we both thought that I should just take one last pass at it, make sure it was as tight as it could be. I just spewed so much of that thing. There's always hopefully going to be a kind of on-the-road chaos to the sound. I mean, not on the road. What I achieved is a little more, I don't know, intellectually rigorous than what Kerouac was going for.
Yeah, I hope that too, because On the Road was such a minor achievement.
Well, it's not exactly a world masterpiece.
What did you say?
Can we not talk about Kerouac? He was a complete psychotic pig. Guys love talking about him, and girls are bored to death.
Well, he didn't exactly have a feminist agenda.
Thank God for that.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I just hate all these women who are so hung up about sex.
So women who don't like Kerouac are hung up about sex?
You can't deny there's an associative correlation.
I can absolutely deny that there's an associative correlation. Kerouac was a misogynist hack. What's that got to do with women who like sex?
No.
A little reductive.
You said anyone who doesn't like Kerouac is hung up about sex, and I'm the one who's reductive.
Don't listen to her. She loves him. She reads him in the bathtub. She lights candles and swoons in the bubble bath. Jack.
She's laughing. She shoves him. They tussle.
So you guys like knew each other before this, right?
High school.
High school.
And you still have a crush on it?
What? No.
No.
Just,
No.
just check. Just check.
So, Douglas, your agent thinks your novel is ready to go out?
Yeah, he's really optimistic. I mean, you want to be cautious, but a lot of people saw the story in Tin House, so there's just a lot of interest.
Yeah, that story was amazing.
Thanks.
It was really, really elegant.
Thanks. Yeah, I was pleased with how it came out. I mean, I was so worried about it because it was risky, to go that experimental with the language. People aren't trained anymore to be able to hear it. I mean, postmodernism has really fallen on hard times, although it's not so much postmodern, really is magical realism. That's more tonally where I finally ended up, and I think that at least people are still open to. But God, the novel has fallen on hard times, and I'm not talking about ebooks. Ebooks, don't get me started. And on top of it, all anyone wants anymore are memoirs. And I'm not saying I think it's an interesting form. I'm as curious as the inside of my brain as anyone else, but please. I mean, where's the bathroom, Kate? I need to take a piss.
Oh, it's through the door and down the hall.
You have doors on the hallways. I love it. No, seriously, it's fabulous. Your family owns this place?
We have the lease, as long as one of us is like, a direct whatever.
Oh, God, yeah.
As long as one of you's what?
It's, it's rent controlled or stabilized, whatever you call it.
Oh no, come on, how much?
And it's very affordable.
You're so old, New York.
Seriously, how much?
I thought you had to pee, Douglas.
I do. I'm desperate to pee, but I'm more desperate to find out how much you pay for this place.
It's been in my family a long time.
You don't know?
Of course I know.
Well then, what is it?
$800?
$800? What do you mean, 800 a day?
$800 a month.
You never told me that.
It's not that big of a deal.
That you have a free apartment on the Upper West Side? How is that not a big deal? I can't believe you never told me this. How have I never heard this?
It's lucky.
Lucky is a seat on the subway. You have 16 rooms and a view of the river.
We have 9 rooms, and you can only see the river from 2 of them.
Yeah, the living room, the dining room, and that one bedroom.
Okay, 3. 3 rooms have a view.
800 a month. That is fabulous.
It's socialism for the rich.
I didn't ask for it.
The rich never do. Isn't that funny? People just keep giving them things they don't even ask for.
Being middle class doesn't make you morally superior, Martin.
I'm not middle class. I am a nobody with a shitty, expensive apartment in Queens, and I didn't say it made me morally superior.
It doesn't make you a better writer either.
No, totally. 800 a month. It's like having a grant without having to actually get one. All the grants aren't just about money. You have to be careful flying too under the radar. People don't like that.
He goes. They all look at each other.
People don't like that? What people?
You have to stop being mean to him, Martin. He's important.
Holy shit. Indigo Jones, the flavor of desperation.
He knows a lot of people.
I know a lot of people too.
The people you know are nobodies who majored in English at itty-bitty liberal arts colleges on the East Coast.
You mean like you?
Well, he went to Yaddo. Once you have it in there, you have pull. He could get you into Yaddo.
Where the interiority and the exteriority of the landscape have achieved such a supreme state of harmonic convergence that the whole place is about to lift off.
You're jealous.
Jealous? Of what?
You've been rejected by Yaddo 3 times?
Thank you.
And McDowell how many times?
Yes, thank you, thank you. I needed to be reminded, thank you.
He's been a bunch of times. Plus, I'm telling you, he's really hooked up. I mean, his uncle's like a world famous.
He was one of those weathermen. One of the terrorists?
No, he was a playwright.
No, he was a terrorist.
He was a famous playwright who went to Harvard.
So what?
So people care about that stuff, Martin, and you have to stop being such a snob.
I'm a snob.
You're a complete snob, making fun of the way he talks.
He talks like an idiot. His language is subhuman. It'd be more interesting if it were subhuman. Then we could try and interpret all the grunts and the hand gestures mean. We could pretend he was a very clever chimpanzee who was teaching us how language actually worked, but he doesn't do anything as interesting as that. He just says things, idiotic, meaningless, self-important observations about nothing. His words have nothing behind them. There's no music, there's no joy, there's no curiosity, there's nothing. And I'm not talking about a flat, terrifying banality of evil, nihilistic nothing. I'm talking about nothing.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. All this talk about language makes it sound like you don't like him.
You guys have to stop talking about him.
That's what I'm saying. Stop making such a big deal about language.
I am a writer. We're all writers. If we don't care about language, what should we care about?
Sex.
She leans in suddenly, lifts up her shirt, and shows him her tits. Martin reacts, startled, but not uninterested.
Izzy!
Oh, sex. Oh.
Laughing, Izzy does a little dance and falls on her back on the couch, throwing her arms up in a pose.
I'm going to write one of those drug menace books. You know, all about those old mass market paperbacks that have the girls with their shirts off on the covers, all smoking opium and ruining the lives of men. And then I'm going to pose for the cover, and I'm going to be in New York Magazine.
There's a career goal. Show your tits to New York Magazine.
It's ironic and witty, and I'm going to be famous.
She smiles at Martin, clearly flirtatious. Douglas re-enters, oblivious. Izzy pulls her shirt down.
This place is great.
He sits.
What did I miss?
Blackout. Scene 2. Lights up on Leonard. 50, fierce, and brilliant.
You've got to understand that this is a totally irrelevant dream state you're hibernating in up here. It's irrelevant. I mean, I was just in Moldova doing research on this thing. And I ate cabbage with a Chechnyan psychopath. Then I'm in Dubai with a bunch of Shiites and Sunnis, people wanting to kill each other. I almost got into a fist fight with a Russian prostitute who was of a totally indeterminate gender. Don't get me started on that story. Anyway, the fact is, I was stoned out of my mind. It was fucked up, all of it, but it was relevant. The world we live in, it no longer exists. Last year I was in Rwanda. I was hanging out with this guy. He's a genocide survivor. His arms are gone, chopped off. He can't do anything anymore except beg for whatever pittance, half a bowl of rice some fucking UN peacekeeper throws him every other day. The rest of the time, he just lies there in the mud unless someone like me comes along and helps him get drunk. So I spend like 3 hours with this guy, listening to him tell his fucking story. And finally it gets real quiet and he says to me, he says, I have HIV. I'm going to die. And I'm like, forget it. I'm overwhelmed. I go, why are you telling me this? Why am I the receptacle of this incredible fucking story, man? And he says, because you are a writer. You must write this. It must be told.
A beat.
How did I get off on this? What were we talking about?
Kate had a story.
Right. Kate's story. Where is it?
It's in your hand.
Leonard finds it in his hand.
Yeah, right. So what were we talking about?
The first sentence.
Oh, yeah. Christ, I remember now. Oh, Christ. When truth is acknowledged universally, it is also universally distinct. I mean, what the fuck? I can't even.
That's not even the whole sentence.
Yeah, I see the semicolon. I understand that means that there is only a partial stop and more is coming, but I'm not sure I want to continue, okay? I'm not even making it through your first sentence, so why don't you tell me what you're doing? Because it's not exactly drawing me in here.
Well, what am I doing?
What are you, yes, what are you doing?
It's a referencing of Jane Austen. The first sentence of Pride and Prejudice. It's kind of a sardonic commentary.
What's so fucking sardonic about it?
It's the narrator. She's wanting.
I don't give a shit about the narrator. If I can't get past the first 5 words, how the fuck am I supposed to find out enough about the narrator to care about it?
It's not a him, it's a her.
Well, see, that would be my point. If I can't even tell what gender your narrator is, then you haven't really done your job, have you?
How, if you don't go past the first 5 words, how can you tell?
Listen to me. don't defend yourself. If you're defending yourself, you're not listening. I do know who your narrator is. She is an overeducated, completely inexperienced, sexually inadequate girl who has rich parents. Who give her everything and have nothing to say. So she sits around and thinks about Jane Austen all the time. I don't give a shit about that person. This is what I'm saying. I don't have to get past the first 5 words because I already know enough that I don't give a shit.
I liked it.
No, you didn't.
I did. I mean, I thought she was sort of doing this thing with sexual irony. Like the lack of sex was sort of like a come on.
I like it too. I think it's intelligent and thoughtful. Well done.
I like it too.
Guys, this is all very sweet. You're all adorable, but don't kid yourselves. You're all going to be nice to her now because her story tanked. But you're not in this together, and trust me, you wouldn't think her story was any great. It was great if it were really any good. If it were really good, you'd fucking hate it. Writers in their natural state are about as civilized as feral cats. All this well done bullshit means you are not being honest. And if you're not honest, who gives a shit what you're writing? Who's up next?
He tosses Kate's story to the floor and looks around. There's a big old pause.
See you all next week, cowards.
He goes. They all sit there, silent for a moment.
God, I can't believe how late it is. I have to go. My mom's in the hospital.
Wow, that's a drag. You need a ride?
You drove to the Upper West Side?
No, I meant on the subway.
You're going to give a ride on the subway.
I just thought maybe she needed company. Her mom is in the hospital, Martin.
I mean, it's not serious. She's not like dying or anything.
So you want to have a drink, like on the way?
Sure. Great.
They go. Martin looks at Kate.
You okay?
What do you think, Martin? Am I okay? Am I okay?
Sorry.
What an asshole. What a jerk.
Yeah,
People think he is a genius. What is so fucking genius about that?
that is what I've been saying. Let me give you a ride home. The guy's a moron.
Not Douglas, Martin. I'm talking about Leonard. Leonard is an idiot.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Douglas.
Do you think that was smart? Did you think him standing there and telling us all that we're fucking losers if we don't go to Egypt and smoke water pipes, we're completely irrelevant as human beings if we read the New York Times, does that seem smart to you?
That's not what he said.
It is absolutely what he said. I'm irrelevant because I live in a nice apartment. I love that. How about I'm irrelevant because I'm an overeducated girl?
That's not what he
He said I was
said.
sexually inadequate.
He said the story was sexually
No,
inadequate.
no, he didn't read more than 6 words.
He's not talking about you. He's talking about the story.
A story he hasn't read.
He read the first page. I mean, we all sat here, right, and watched him read the first page.
Big fucking deal. What is your point, Martin?
I don't have a point. I just mean that's all we get, right? Everybody says it. If you don't get them on the first page, that's all you get.
So it's my fault that I stood here and got completely humiliated by that asshole.
She disappears into the apartment, yelling back. Martin waits.
Everybody acted like they all said he's rough, but he's a great teacher. But I don't see what's so great about just being abused. That's not teaching, that's just being a shithead. If I want someone to tell me I'm wasting my time, I could just talk to my mother. Everyone thinks it's so cool and so fun to be mean to artists. But if we weren't here, there would be nothing but anarchy and immorality and chaos. We are the soul of the culture, and people can just fucking be nice to us once in a while.
She reappears carrying bags of chips, diet soda, and ice cream. She sits down and starts to eat.
What are you doing?
I'm depressed. And I'm trying to make myself feel better. Is that all right with you?
Don't be depressed.
My story got creamed. I'm depressed. I'm a depressed feral cat.
If you think he's stupid, what do you care if he didn't like your story?
I didn't think he was stupid until he was stupid to me today.
So if he liked your story, that would make him not stupid?
Yes. If he liked my story, that would make him smart. Okay? Okay? Okay.
Just wanted to be sure.
Why are you still here? Douglas is out there having drinks with the love of your life. Why are you hanging out with the loser?
She's not the love of my life. Are you kidding?
Give me a break.
She's a twit.
Yeah, guys hate that. It sucks that she's gorgeous too.
Look, she's all right. No, I mean, okay, she's attractive. No one is going to say she's not attractive.
He starts to eat obsessively everything in sight.
Oh my god, you should hear yourself. Attractive. Why don't you just put a gun to your own head? You're so completely in love with her. Do you think it's not utterly obvious to absolutely everyone who sees you in the same room with her?
I am not in love with her. She's clearly got something going with Douglas. How she can even stand to talk to him for more than 15 seconds at a go is a mystery. I mean, the guy is an unmitigated embarrassment to the human race. Seriously, can I give you a ride? Give her a ride? It's so Darien. Maybe he could give a ride to Yaddo, where the interiority and the exteriority of the landscape is so stunningly in sync with the diasporic essentiality of the mimetic dialogue between self and culture. Maybe that's what he should do.
Don't kid yourself. She would love a ride Yaddo. Don't eat all the chips. I want those.
Fuck me, fuck her, and fuck him.
No, fuck me. I'm the one who got creamed. This sucks. That story is fantastic. I've been working on that fucking story for 6 years. People love that story. You love that story.
Well,
What? What?
nothing.
You don't love that story.
It's okay. You've been working on it for 6 years.
That's right. I've been working on it for 6 years because people like it. Frank Conroy read it. Before he died, he was a writer in residence up at Bennington for 1 month, and he read that story, and you know what he said to me? He said it was much better than most. Not better than most, much better than most.
Much better than most. That is so lame, Kate.
Yes, it would be lame coming from you, but it didn't come from you. It came from Frank Conroy. You know who else likes that story? Tobias Wolff. He read it when I took that summer writing class, and he said it had some nice things in it.
Kate, do you even hear yourself? You know how long you've been working on that story? 6 years.
That's right, 6 years.
Why have you been writing the same story for 6 years?
Because it's a good story. It's a really good story. When I was at Bennington,
Jesus, was there ever a time when you weren't at Bennington? You exist in an alternate universe called Bennington.
I learned a lot there, Martin.
What you learned was how to write one lousy story in 6 years. That's not... I didn't mean the story was lousy.
Yes, you did.
Well, why are you writing the same story for 6 years?
Because people kept telling me it was good, but that it needed more work.
Well, then, Leonard just did you a big favor, didn't he?
Meeting?
Now you can write something else.
You know, this is my apartment, so I can't walk out. Could you please walk out?
No, don't do that. Come on, don't do that.
Get out of my apartment. Get out. Go get out.
No.
I need it, Martin.
Come on, listen to me, listen.
He takes her hands. She looks away.
I have to tell you something.
She looks up at him. He holds her hand.
What?
I'm getting kicked out of my apartment because I'm a little late on the rent. Can I stay here? I mean, you got like 9 extra bedrooms, and it's free. Who knew it was free? I can stay, right?
She looks at him. Blackout. Scene 3. Leonard is taking off his jacket and scarf, looking at the others who are sitting dutifully around him.
So who's got something? Who are we starting with today?
There's a silence. No one moves. Leonard laughs.
Come on, children, we don't have all night. What are we here for? Am I a fucking writer, or am I a fucking piece of shit coward? Am I trying to construct a living, breathing cosmos with language, or am I just scratching on the wall of a cave? Am I a feral cat, or am I a useless goldfish in a bowl? That would be better off if someone flushed it down a toilet, which is what's going to happen anyway.
Izzy twitches, nervous.
I have something. I have a story. I mean, I didn't know if Douglas and Martin had something. I was thinking maybe they'd want to go, or maybe Kate has something else.
Oh.
Okay, well, I do have something.
Handing it over.
I haven't been working on it very long. I just started it like about a few days ago.
Yeah, I can tell.
Holds it up. It's only 2 pages.
Well, but okay.
He starts. He talks.
No, it's good. If you have something on the page, you should let people see it, for Christ's sakes. All this rewriting people do, it squeezes the guts out of everything. I read a story last week, a couple weeks ago. It was so fucking lifeless. This person had just clearly been rewriting the stupid thing for like maybe 10 years. There's just nothing left except a sort of desiccated corpse. It was ludicrous. If you're going to write, be a fucking man about it. Kerouac wrote On the Road in like a week or something.
Okay, I'm sorry, but what did you say? Did you say you want us to be a fucking man about writing and that we should write like Kerouac?
You should write like yourself.
Yes, I agree with that. But if myself is a woman, I don't see why I should write like a man.
If you're going to be some fucking feminist about it, that would be up to you, but I can't help you with that.
Feminist? I didn't say feminist. I said woman. Woman. What is wrong with being a woman and being a writer?
You would have to answer that for yourself.
But you said it. You said, be a man. Be Jack Kerouac, who was a total pig to women. So I don't...
Look, you want to argue about feminist politics. I'm not here to argue with you about that. I'm here to talk about writing.
We're not talking about writing.
Well, no, because you commandeered the conversation. Is that all right with you if we talk about your story your fellow writer has presented to the group?
Sure. Of course, sure.
There's a moment of silence while Leonard reads. He laughs at something. Izzy smiles. As Leonard keeps laughing, Izzy is more and more pleased.
Well, this is, it's fresh. It's lively as hell. Do you have copies?
Yes, I do.
Okay, pass them out because people should. We'll talk about this one. There's a real energy here, a lightness, a touch, a sexual edge to the language, which is, I gotta say, it's got me on board. Ba-voom. Like this thing I read last week, I don't remember when I read it. It was a lump of nothing. There was no forward motion. It just laid there. The words were like lumps of shit.
Hey, could you, if you just don't...
Look, what is your problem? I'm trying to teach a class here.
You're not teaching, you're insulting me. You're...
I'm not insulting anybody. I'm just telling your fellow writer, what's your name again?
Izzy.
I'm telling Izzy about the experience of reading her story, which you might want to participate in. But if you can't support your fellow writer, that would be up to you.
Look, this isn't about...
Maybe if we continue to talk about Izzy's story.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Without, I think what Kate is getting hung up on is that you keep insulting her work.
This isn't about her.
Yes, that's right. But it's hard because you keep bringing up the story from last week.
That's got nothing to do with her.
Well, it was her story, so...
That wasn't her story.
It wasn't?
It wasn't?
No! Christ! This was some totally different situation that's what I'm saying. That was somebody else's story. This relentless, talent-free story about some girl who just had this obsession with Jane Austen. Christ, what a soul-sucking waste of words that was.
That was Kate's story.
That was your story.
Yes, that was my story.
Oh, that was your story.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Obviously I didn't think that story really worked, but this, who wrote this?
I did.
This has a great, really great sexual feel to it.
Thank you.
The tone of the Asian eroticism is good. It was, I was in Shanghai once. Have you ever been to Shanghai?
I have an uncle who lives there.
I bet you do.
Can we talk about the story? I just have some questions. because I admire it. I really do, Izzy. There's a terrific tone that's both sinister and wry, and I think it's truly original, but I'm actually a little unsure where, of course, not that with 2 pages you'd have to have the whole thing planned out, but I'm more or less curious.
Where? Who gives a shit about where? Why would you ask that question at this point? Don't ask where when where is the point. Am I right?
He looks at Izzy, who has a good grace to be confused.
Well, it's just really new. I think where is a good question. That's why I wasn't sure I should even really show it to you, because where.
I'm not saying where is not a good question, but that's what I admire about the energy of the opening. It dares to ask that question and not know the answer. The writing itself is asking the question. See, this reminds me when I was at Yale with Penn Warren. There was no getting past him. No point even trying. He was ruthless and religious about sound. Everything else, intellect, idea, motion, character, all were secondary. If the sound wasn't there, there was no discussion even capable of continuing in a meaningful. I'm not saying this right. No, I am. Actually, I am. This has a sound. It rings like a bell. It doesn't matter that there's no subject or story or idea or meaning. It's got power. It's got sex. Well done. Well done. What's your name?
Izzy.
Well done, Izzy. What else have you got?
He sits next to her on the couch. The intentions of his attention are clear. She looks at him, smiles. Blackout. Scene 4. It is later the same night. Martin sits on the side of the couch drinking a beer, watching Kate move in and out of the room with a bowl of cookie dough. She holds it and mixes it with a blender. The plug pulls out from the wall in the next room. She goes back and plugs it in, then re-enters with the whirling mixer.
2 pages. It wasn't even 2 pages. It was a page and a half.
It's more than a page and a half.
It's not 2 pages.
It's almost 2 pages.
What can you fucking tell from 2 fucking pages?
2 good pages.
Not good. How can you say they're good? You don't honestly think that those 2 idiotic pages are good?
They're not bad, Kate.
They're horrible. Oh my god, do you honestly think that shit is good?
I think...
You just want to sleep with her, so you don't know what you think. I can't believe it.
He watches her eat a big spoon of cookie dough.
What are you doing?
I'm eating cookie dough.
I can't believe girls actually do that. Girls actually do that.
Can't believe that men think that because they maybe want to sleep with someone, that means she's a good writer. That's what I can't believe.
Martin starts to eat the cookie dough with her.
She is a good writer.
I am a good writer, Martin. Just because none of you want to sleep with me, that doesn't mean I'm not any good. Let me tell you something. If this writing seminar were made up of exclusive lesbian writers, I'd be a fucking star.
Are you a lesbian?
Martin! You know I'm not a lesbian.
People change their minds.
Well, I have not changed my mind. I'm just a lonely bad writer who's getting fat.
Shit. This stuff is delicious. Listen, you are totally hot. You don't need a bunch of lesbians to tell you that.
Izzy is hot.
You're hot too. I often go to bed thinking about you in the bathtub with Jack Kerouac. That turned out to be a very potent image for me. Jack, Jack, Jack.
Well, that's the thumping I've been hearing down the hall.
Jack, Jack, Jack.
Right.
Laughing, she climbs on top of him. There is a moment which gets just a shred too close. The door buzzes. The buzzer continues. Insistent. The moment evaporates. She goes to the wall and hits it.
What's that?
Chinese food.
You ordered Chinese food?
Yes, I did. I'm a terrible writer, and I'm committed to getting fat. It's a commitment now.
Kate, I think your story was really good.
You do not. Leonard hated it so much that within 1 week, it's become legendary in his imagination how bad it was. And now I'm stuck here. I'm stuck here with that asshole in my apartment for 10 weeks. I suck. My life has no meaning.
Your life has meaning.
No, it doesn't. And yours doesn't either.
My life has meaning.
Please, it does not. On top of which you're afraid that the girl you're crushing on, it
I'm not crushing on Izzy.
doesn't matter if you are or not, because she has other fish to fry, doesn't she? She's not afraid to show off her writing, and she's going to get it published too, because Izzy is not afraid of doing whatever she has to, and right now, she's off having sex with our hideous and disgusting teacher.
Izzy is not having sex with Leonard. That would be completely unethical.
Which is why it would, of course, never happen.
He opens another bottle. There is a knock at the door. Kate answers it.
Hi, Douglas. What are you doing here?
He barges in and sits. Martin stares at him.
She's having sex with him. It's completely unethical. I mean, I wouldn't care. It's not like I'm a prude, God knows.
Izzy's not having sex with Leonard.
They went home together.
You don't know that.
Martin, we left the apartment and went to that shitty bar across the street to have a drink. After 3 glasses of wine each, he looked her in the face and said, "You want to come back to my place?" And she said, "Sure." And they left together.
That doesn't mean she slept with him.
They were making out on the sidewalk in front of the restaurant, right in front of me. The table is here, the plate glass is here, and and they just start making out right there. If the window hadn't been there, they would have been in my lap. He was feeling her up right in front of me.
Come on.
Do you think I'd make something like that up?
Well, what was she doing?
She was participating.
That is so unethical for Leonard to take advantage of her like that.
You are insane.
You don't think it's unethical?
I think that Izzy is going to get her story published in the New Yorker is what I think.
You can't get your work published by sleeping with your fiction teacher, Kate.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I just don't think that Izzy is naive enough to think that sleeping with Leonard will help her career.
Naive. You think it's naive of her to think of something like that?
I think I know a little bit more about it than you do.
Oh, that was helpful.
I just meant that.
I know what you meant. Here's what I meant. Calling a woman or a man who sleeps with a powerful guy naive? Oh, it is naive.
Which is still unethical. It just makes Leonard's behavior coercive.
Coercive? Maybe it was coercive of Izzy to write 2 pages of a story that's all about sex and then go have drinks with our fucked up writing teacher who can't remember anybody's name because he's constantly thinking about his dick. Maybe that was the coercive part.
And maybe you're jealous.
Maybe I'm jealous. Maybe you're an idiot.
Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe.
Shut up. Would both of you just shut up? Please, just shut up.
Really sad and depressed, Martin takes another bottle of beer, looks at them, tries to speak, can't, and goes. Buzzer.
What's that?
Chinese food.
Blackout. Scene 5. Leonard is looking at some pages. All 4 sit and watch him. Leonard paces. He finishes reading a page, drops it to the ground. He reads another page, paces, drops it to the ground. He starts to read another page. It's excruciating. Finally, he glances through the other pages, looks up at Douglas.
Your uncle said you were talented.
Oh, thank you. That's really nice of you to say.
I didn't say you were talented. I said your uncle said you were talented. I didn't say you weren't talented. This is not without talent. This section about the top of the girl's dresser, the 2 bottles of fingernail polish standing next to each other like lost and terrified soldiers, that's not bad. It's nice you've already referenced the peeling of the red polish on her toes, so we get the allusion to blood without having it stated explicitly. It's all right, good even. Your description of the butterfly poster over her bed is first rate. It's not the pedestrian interpretation one might be tempted to make about a teenage girls and butterflies. There was a time when tribal people had carved butterflies into stone, had reckoned them messengers from the gods. Those tribal people are fantastic, and the way you drop them in, it's a beautiful surprise. You paint her bedroom very well.
Thank you.
Wow. A teenage girl's bedroom. Wow.
You don't like it?
No, it's terrific. Well done.
No, go ahead.
I like it. I'm a little confused about the relevance factor. Just 2 weeks ago, you told us we should be writing about dying beggars in Sudan. So I'm not without confusion now how this does that. But it's not without talent. I mean, that's what I always said about Douglas. He's not without talent.
Don't be such a pussy.
A pussy.
You don't think you're being a pussy?
Do I think I'm being a pussy?
Martin,
Martin, what? Do you like it?
I do. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Do you think I'm being a pussy?
I think it's a pretty good story, too. It's good, Douglas.
Oh, it's a pretty good story, and I'm a pussy. That's great. I thought this was a writing seminar where we discussed writing with something approaching intellectual sophistication. Pretty good story, and I'm a pussy. We're really ascending the heights here.
I think the word pussy is pretty intellectually sophisticated. It communicates pretty precisely the meaning I'm looking for.
My point is,
I know your point. You don't like being you don't like me calling you a pussy, even though you're acting like a pussy. Because you're here to discuss the writing. You guys are all paying me a lot of money because you think I can help you understand the craft of writing better. So you can go off and have successful so-called careers as writers of fiction, which is more or less my specialty. Or is something else your problem?
He's standing behind Izzy. He puts his hand on her hair and strokes it once. Martin looks at both of them.
no, that's pretty much my problem. I'm here to talk about writing. I'd like to do that without the word pussy being involved, unless that's a big problem for you.
No, I think I can handle that.
Thank you.
So why don't you tell us what you think about the story? Since you want to stay focused on the writing and you don't think you're a pussy, I think we'd all like to hear what you have to say about today's writing specimen, offered up to us with friendly, indeed almost dog-like equanimity by our not untalented friend, Douglas. Douglas, your uncle mentioned that the New Yorker is seriously looking at one of your stories. Is this the one?
Yes, yes, it is. It is actually.
Why don't you tell us what you think about that, Martin?
Look,
You stay out of this. Come on, Martin. Tell your fellow writer, the one person in the room who is in fact succeeding at something you are failing at, tell him what you think. And tell the truth. Come on, come on.
All right.
Well, I love it. I mean, seriously, the language is amazing, Douglas. I mean, I just learned a ton from it. And frankly, I know that Martin loves it too. He told me last week. We both read your other story, the one in Tin House, and Martin flipped.
Did he?
Yes, he did. He thinks Douglas is a thrilling writer. That's what he told me, at least.
Yeah, I like Douglas's work a lot.
I like it too, Douglas. It's good.
thanks, Izzy, and thanks, Kate, and thanks, Martin.
They all sit in silence for a moment, while Leonard laughs a little, shakes his head.
You guys are hilarious. All right, good for you. Martin, that Izzy managed to tell us how much you like Douglas's writing before you told him it sucked, because that would have been really awkward.
It doesn't suck. It's good.
Yes, it is good. There's a level of competence here that is almost chilling in its thoroughness. This is the perfection rendition of a New Yorker story. Capable, graceful in places, a detached tone of perplexed intelligence. You have a relatively famous last name in literary circles. Not too famous, but famous enough. It's not a home run, but it's a standing double.
He hands it back to Douglas.
Well, but I'd really like to hear some criticism.
Oh, you'd like that?
I would. I'd love to build on what's here. See if I can mine the interiority of the Stephanie character, especially. I feel like there's a few places where the complexity of her need for emotional distance is maybe not fully rendered.
Yeah, that's the problem with emotionally distant characters. It's hard to write about them because who gives a shit finally about someone who's got no interior life?
No, I don't think that she has no interior life. That's not.
All right, I'm going to level with you. I'm going to give you some advice here that I think is going to be like totally on the money useful to you.
Great.
It's going to sound a little rough, but you expect that, yeah? I mean, you're not going to turn into a big baby about the truth unlike some other people.
No, of course not.
Good. Because there was something in your writing. It's hard to. It's around the tonal perfection. There's a kind of. It's a little like a whore.
The character of Stephanie?
No, not the character. You. The way you talk about writing is kind of stupid. Plus, the way you write is so unimaginative in the way you attack the problem. You set yourself. I mean, it's skillful, but whorish. It's like the way you play your name off, your connections. You're a name dropper. You're a whore. And that's in the writing. It's perfect in a kind of whorish way. I don't know why you're wasting your time on fiction. I mean, you're good at it. I'm not saying you're not.
No. No.
It's just, if you can do this, why not make a ton of money doing this? You're capable. You've got a few publications under your belt, a famous last name. They love that shit in Hollywood. You could make a fuckload of money. You could spend the rest of your life writing fiction that nobody reads or respects, even if they read it. Because you're talented. Like I said, but you're never going to be great. And there's a lot of people who are never going to be great. Most fiction writers just evaporate. Really. But that's going to be a problem for you because of your kind of whorish attitude to the whole thing. Name dropping, and of course the name. It will in fact be particularly degrading and even humiliating to be ignored to the degree you will be ignored. Because at the same time, you'll be allowed in because of the name. You'll be invited to cocktail parties. You'll get to go to exclusive events at the public library. But you will never be on a panel because too many people who know shit will know it's hollow. The work is hollow. I would think about Hollywood.
Oh.
Yeah, but the story is excellent.
Yes, we've all heard you think the story is thrilling. I don't think it's thrilling. I think it's good in a whorish way, but that is the level of his writing ambition. And that he could make a fuck ton of money in Hollywood.
But I'm a fiction writer.
You asked for the truth. That's the truth I have.
Yes. No, thanks.
All right, then. I gotta go to Somalia tomorrow. We'll see you pussies in 2 weeks.
And he goes. There's a long moment of silence.
Going to Somalia. Maybe someone will shoot him.
I think it's a really good story.
Fuck you. You think it's shit. At least he told me what he really thinks. Can someone check in the hallway and make sure that he's gone?
Sure.
She opens the door, goes out, looks down the stairs, and comes back in.
He's gone.
Good.
Douglas, wait. Don't just go walking off, Douglas. Wait.
Kate goes after him, leaving the door standing open. Martin sits on the couch, morose. Izzy turns back to him.
You're an asshole.
I'm an asshole. He's an asshole, not Douglas, Leonard. I think Douglas is a shit writer, but he's not an asshole. He's not actually a shit writer either. He's a pretty good writer who mostly writes shit.
Which is what Leonard said.
Are you siding with Leonard now?
I'm not siding with anyone. This is a situation. I mean, what's the matter with you?
What's the matter with me?
You were about to tell Douglas his story sucked. You were too, and I saved you. Jerk. I mean, Douglas is hooked up, and P.S., he's a good guy. You need to make him your friend. You want to keep getting rejected by Yato and McDowell? Why don't you just keep sending blind submissions to those places like every other loser in the world?
Hey, don't hold back.
I'm not, because you know what? I don't care what anyone says. We're in this together, and it's a game. It's a situation, and we need each other. Douglas can help us. And Leonard, too.
Fuck Leonard. The guy's an asshole. Everybody was like, oh, he's amazing. He only takes a few students anymore. You'll learn so much. This is what I'm learning. Give me my money back. I can't believe I scraped together $5,000 for this. I can't even pay my rent.
Maybe the reason that you're not learning anything, Martin, is that you haven't shown him any of your work. Has that occurred to you?
Well, maybe I don't want to show him my work because all I've seen him do for my fellow writers is stomp on their hearts, so we'll call them whores or turn them into whores. Sorry.
You mistake me, Martin, for someone who cares.
Yes, I see your point there. You clearly, you should go ahead and do whatever you think you need to do.
Just for the record, however, I did not sleep with Leonard.
It's none of my business, you're right.
I didn't sleep with him. Don't you believe me?
It doesn't matter if I believe you or not, Izzy. It's none of my business.
Are you calling me a liar now? I mean, now I'm not just a whore, I'm a liar and a whore?
I didn't say that.
Douglas is right. At least Leonard tells the truth.
She goes and gets her purse to go.
Look, why are you mad at me? You're right. I'm pathetic. I'm a pathetic chicken, but I think that you could do a lot better than that. That you're so beautiful, Izzy. You're exquisite, really just funny and smart and full of life.
You know?
Well, yeah.
You're right. Since I'm not sleeping with him, I could surely do better.
Well, you could.
But
Well, yeah.
She starts to move toward him.
so much better.
Well, a lot. Really, a whole lot. A lot.
She's close. She kisses him and kisses him again. He participates.
You know what, Martin? I think you're right. Where's your bedroom?
Where's
The bedroom. The bedroom, Martin. The bedroom.
He finally comes to his senses and takes her off to his bedroom. There's a moment of silence. Finally, Kate steps into the open door from the hallway, where she has witnessed the whole scene. She leans against the door, closing it behind her. After a moment alone, she starts to cry. Blackout. Scene 6. 2 weeks later. Douglas on the couch. He's reading a manuscript.
Kate! Get out of here. Kate! What is this?
Kate enters.
Do you like it?
It's interesting. Who wrote it?
This friend of mine.
Is it true?
He says it is.
A transvestite Cubano gang leader.
He's pretty extreme, yes.
Do you believe it?
Do I believe it's true?
Yeah.
Well, I knew him at Bennington.
So that makes it by default what? True or false?
I don't know. I thought he was pretty good. The teachers all loved him because he had this exotic Cubano past.
How do you even get there to Bennington?
I don't know. Some adult ed prison program.
I thought you knew this guy.
I do know him. He lives in the village. I bumped into him in a coffee shop last week, and he told me what he was writing, so I said, could I see it? And that's what he gave me.
He had it on him.
Yeah, he had it on him. Like you, apparently he has a whorish essence. He'll give it up to anybody.
So why am I reading this?
I'm going to show it a fuckface.
Why?
There's a sound of laughter, then Martin.
Give it to me. Oh my God, this is no joke, Izzy. Come on.
Izzy in a man's shirt and underwear runs into the room laughing, holding several pages. Martin grabs her from behind. They wrestle. Laughing as she tries to keep the pages from him. They finally fall against the wall, making out. The kissing keeps going to the extent that it is not clear that they're aware Douglas and Kate are in the room.
One would say, get a room, but they have a room. It's a huge apartment. They could have 6 rooms if they wanted, but they seem to like it out here. Hey, Martin, Izzy, we are not, in fact, making porno videos out here. Could you take this elsewhere?
Martin pulls away, flustered.
Oh, sorry. Come on, Izzy. Come on. Hi, Douglas.
Izzy's laughing. She allows herself to be pulled back into the bedroom.
How long has that been going on?
2 weeks. That night Leonard told you were a whore, they both felt so bad for you that they needed to comfort each other.
That's been going on for 2 weeks?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, in addition to looking like that, Izzy is apparently, in truth, a total nymphomaniac, which was, shall we say, good news for Martin.
And they're staying here?
I said he could live here. He didn't have a place to live, and she still lives at home with her parents, so that's out.
Yeah, but...
I'm not going to tell them they have to leave. They're happy. Why would I resent the fact that they're happy? Leonard's been gone for 2 weeks. No one is having their hearts stomped on, and there are 2 happy people in love in my apartment. Why wouldn't I be anything except happy? Myself, I'm so fucking happy.
She is clearly not. Douglas looks at her.
Is that all you're gonna read?
I just don't know why you want me to read it.
I want to quit the group. Lewis said he would love to meet Leonard. He thinks Leonard might be able to do something for him. So I offered to sell him the last half of my sessions. I could get $2,500 back and maybe go somewhere. I don't want to give a shit where, just somewhere else. Ohio's looking pretty fucking good right now. Just get away from this until I get a clue about what I should be doing with my life.
Katie...
Don't be nice to me. I'm doing this and I'm not going to know you anymore.
Okay, fine, but, you know, if you want to get away from all this, I mean, this is your apartment.
It's my father's apartment.
My point being, if you want this to be over, you could just kick us all out.
Yes, I realize that. And I honestly think that slinking off like a dying cat would be better.
There's a knock at the door.
Oh, goody. That would be Leonard. How splendid.
She opens the door. Leonard saunters in, fresh from the jungle.
Hey, Leonard. How was Somalia?
Didn't get shot. What a fucking country. Just total chaos. I mean, serious Antarctic shit over there. Everywhere.
Sounds wonderful.
It was fucked. An entire people erased. You look in their eyes, they laugh, and they smile, and there's nothing there. An entire nation of sociopaths. 8-year-old kids roaming the streets with AK-47s. Warlords sitting like kings on huge mounds of food. They use the bags of rice and beans and cornmeal. They use them for their thrones. They sit up there and laugh at the people, their own people, starving all around them. You sit on top of the food, you get a great view of it all, apparently.
It sounds amazing. You going to write about it?
You know, listen to me. Listen, you should go. Honestly, Douglas, you should get yourself on a fucking cargo ship and go over there and take a look at it. There's no embassies. There's no protections. There's no one who's responsible. Get yourself kidnapped, held at gunpoint by pirates. Fuck them. They don't think you can write. You go over there. You spend a few years facing the most terrifying nihilism this planet has to offer. No one will dismiss you then.
Actually, Leonard, aside from you, no one is dismissing him.
He knows what I'm talking about.
Go get yourself shot by sociopaths. That will make you a writer. What responsible advice.
Trust me, there's worse advice out there. I could have told you to keep writing that fucking shitty story. Other people would have. Where's the other two? Am I early?
Martin, Izzy, Leonard's here. We're ready to start.
There's an awkward moment while Leonard tries to figure out what's up. He looks around at Douglas, who shrugs. He looks down at the manuscript on the table, sits in front of it.
That's from a friend of mine. He's interested in joining the group.
I'm not taking extra students right now. I only take a few at a time. Tell him he can submit through a teacher like everyone else.
He holds it up. She doesn't take it.
He? I'm leaving the group. He's really good. We thought he has a really fucked up story. He used to be in a Cubano gang in high school, and he's actually a cross-dresser. This is true. It's completely the kind of thing I think that you're looking for, and I'm not interested so much as I thought I was in being a writer.
He sets it down and looks at her.
I give a shit.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Boo-hoo. Someone has decided not to be a writer. No one cares. No one in New York. No one in America. No one in Somalia. Trust me. No one cares.
I'm well aware. That's why I'm quitting.
I'm not giving you your money back.
Yes, I'm aware. I'm not asking you for my money back.
It's not your money. You paid me for my time. I'm here. I show up every week. Is that not enough for you?
I didn't. That's not.
To Douglas.
See, I can't even. I'm trying to slink off like a fucking dying animal, and I can't even.
Well, slink off then. Why are you still here?
Because it's my apartment.
Fuck you. We'll find some other place to meet.
I just want to leave.
So go. You're a weenie. You're a whiner. You can't even take the merest shred of criticism.
That was not. What you said about my story was not.
The fucking critics will say worse to all of you. If it gets in at all, you're doomed.
There's a sad moment of this. Martin and Izzy come out of the other room. Both are fully dressed, pretending like that they were not mere moments ago, screwing their brains out.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing. Just a delightful welcome home from the scariest fucking trip of my life. Kate here was just telling me how happy she is to see me. Almost got shot twice. Didn't quite get a chance to tell that story. She had a lot of whining to do. I'm not nice enough.
It's not. Oh, God, that's not. This isn't. It isn't about.
Forget it.
He sits and reads a manuscript on the table. They watch him and glance at each other. No one knows what to do. After a moment, Leonard starts to laugh lightly. The writing students look at each other. He laughs again and nods, turns the page. Everyone watches each other and him while he reads.
No, shit.
You like it? You think it's good?
He doesn't look up, keeps reading.
What's he reading?
What's this guy's name?
Louise.
Get him in here.
He keeps reading. Blackout. Scene 7. Later that night. Leonard is gone. They're having beers.
Who is this guy?
I told you, Martin. He's this guy I knew from Bennington, and I know you think that Bennington is some sort of crazy Vermont hippie commune where people get stoned all the time and no one can actually write.
I never said that.
You so did, and I don't care. I'm just telling you, this guy was at Bennington when I was there, and he's a good writer. And I don't want to do it anymore, so he's going to take my spot. I need the money. I'm going to Ohio.
You're going where?
I'm going to Ohio. I am going to Ohio.
Why?
Why do you care?
What is that supposed to mean? Of course I care, Kate.
Do not. Please, do not.
Leave it alone, would you, Martin?
Leave what alone? She's leaving. I'm catching up. You're leaving?
Yes, I'm leaving.
She leaves.
But what is going on?
You're a total moron is what's going on.
So it's really good, huh?
I read a couple of pages. It was good.
It's good?
I only read a couple of pages.
Leonard seems to like it. Like he just sat there and kept reading it.
Yes, we all saw him, Izzy.
Do not snap at me. I have been fucking you for 2 weeks as you have never been fucked in your life. You are not allowed to snap at me.
I wasn't snapping.
You were definitely snapping because you're worried.
What would I be worried about?
You're worried about this new guy who might be good.
Kate! Hey, Kate!
Kate re-enters, pouring herself a glass of white wine.
What?
So you've read it, this guy's story.
It's not a story, it's a memoir.
And it's good?
I like it. I think he's a really good writer. And he's kind of cracked. He wears dresses. You have to put up with that, but he's nice. And he has a interesting history, and he can write.
So you think it's good?
I think it's good. I think it's really good.
You fucker.
What?
You wrote it.
Yes, I did. And Leonard loved it. Fucker, stupid fucking motherfucker. A Cubano transvestite gang member, and he loved it.
You wrote it?
Oh, of course I wrote it. His biggest objection to me is that I'm a rich white girl. Maybe if I'm not a rich white girl, we can find out if I can write.
Izzy starts to laugh, and they're both laughing. Martin doesn't get it.
Okay, fine. You tricked us all. That's hilarious. But what are you gonna do now?
What do you mean? What am I going to do now? I'm on a roll. I'm going to keep writing.
Yeah, but you can't publish it.
Why not? Leonard loves it. He loves it more than he's loved anything anyone else has handed in so far.
He liked my story.
He wanted to sleep with you.
Well, he wouldn't have if he didn't like my story.
You can't publish that as a memoir.
People do it all the time.
And they get arrested for it.
Nobody gets arrested for it. You get put on talk shows for it.
It's a lie.
Fiction. I wrote a piece of fiction.
You said it was a memoir.
That's part of the fiction.
Don't even. Fiction is fiction. Art is art. The kind of truth that fiction is beyond these kinds of games, which is why you get pilloried for it. Which is how, by the way, those people who do get on talk shows, the only way to answer the kind of behavior is a complete public shaming. Saying a lie is the truth is a lie. That's the kind of lie that sets a bomb off in your soul, and then you're fucked.
Wow.
It is. What you write is like Douglas's Butterflies, a messenger from the gods.
Really?
Yes, a messenger from the gods, which has to be reckoned with, or you're fucked.
Martin, you don't get a vote. You don't have enough money to pay your own rent. You're such a huge fucking chicken about your own work, you won't even show it. If it's a fucking message, then what's the message? Oops. No one knows. Because you're a writer who no one can read, so you don't get a vote. Well done, Kate. You not only pulled one over on Leonard, but everyone in the room who everyone in the room thinks is a flaming abusive butthole. You came up with a terrific piece of writing. We know you've been feeling shitty about yourself because of the way Leonard treated you, and you've been really nice to let Martin and Izzy use your apartment as a fucking love nest. And well done. Well done. You must feel a whole lot better. That piece you wrote about the Cubano transvestite gang member is really smart and edgy and funny, and you're a writer after all. Well done.
Then playing her part.
Thanks. Thanks, you guys. Thanks.
She drinks. Douglas laughs. Then he laughs some more.
Thank you, Douglas. At least somebody appreciates the effort.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's no worse than what Leonard did. It's practically the same exact thing.
Oh yeah, on top of everything else, he publishes phony memoirs.
Worse. I was really upset after Leonard called me a whore last week, so I called my uncle to talk to him about it. And he told me Leonard's no saint.
I thought he was a saint.
Your uncle dished dirt on Leonard?
Yes, he did.
So spill it. What did Leonard do?
He's a plagiarist.
Oh, get out.
You're kidding.
Are you sure?
There was some incident. It totally hushed up. It got totally hushed up. But that's why Leonard stopped publishing. This was like an ice age ago, but he did. He totally plagiarized something. It was from like a student, and it wrecked his career. After those first few novels, he was done. And then I don't know what happened, but eventually someone at Random House took pity on him and threw him a copy edition gig, and he turned out to be this rock star editor. And then he started doing all those magazine pieces on Africa, and after a while, people just forgot about it. Nobody really cares now, but it was apparently a big deal when it happened.
Okay, wait. I just have to ask you something. Hearing that your writing teacher is a plagiarist consoled you?
You know what? It did. And I'm with Kate on this one. No one gives a shit about real writing.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, but you wrote this phony thing and you're going to act like it's real, and I think that's smart. I mean, what the fuck are we doing anyway? Fiction is a dying art form, and we're just eating our hearts out while we throw ourselves off a cliff, but you could make a lot of money with this. And you know what, Martin? Hearing that Leonard is a plagiarist did. It consoled me. See you clowns next week.
He goes. Martin looks at Izzy and Kate.
It doesn't console me.
You know what? I don't believe it. Leonard's no fraud.
Well, I think he did it.
I don't.
I do.
And I think you're just looking for yet another excuse not to show him your work.
What did you say?
You heard me.
If I'm not showing him my writing, it's because I don't care what he thinks about my writing, particularly now.
Why? Because your message from the gods is so precious?
Every fucking corner of everything you write is precious. If it isn't, why would you write it? Don't answer that. Don't answer it, because I know it's not a universally held truth, but for some people, constructing a universe out of language is a timeless and reverential act, not an unholy excuse to fuck with people's heads. So no, I don't care to show him my writing.
Writers aren't people.
What?
You said some people. For some people, writing is all this whatever. But let me tell you something. Writers are not people. That has never been more clear.
She goes. Izzy and Martin sit in silence.
Well, I'm going to take off.
I don't want you to take it off.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. I don't.
She kisses him, then picks up a page of his story from where it drifted under the couch 2 scenes ago. She hands it to him.
You have things to do.
She goes. He looks at it. Blackout. Scene 8. All are there. Leonard and Kate square off.
Is he coming?
He's actually not coming. No, he decided that he didn't have the money to do this class right now. He was going to buy my half of the class. That was the deal because I was...
Because you're quitting writing.
Yeah, I decided not to do that.
So you're staying. Is that the earth-shattering announcement you're making to the group?
Yes, that is the earth-shattering announcement I am making to the group.
There's some good stuff here. Fresh and muscular. And the speed is impressive. I'm glad to have seen this. It's shown me something. Why don't you tell him?
I will.
They look at each other.
Good.
He turns to the others.
Anybody else got something? Martin?
I do. Yes, I do.
Really?
Yes, I do. And before I hand it over, I would like to politely ask at this juncture not to be called a pussy. I'm serious. It's unnecessary, and the point has been thoroughly examined. I do not have something to present to... I do have something to present to the group and to you. Actually, that's more the point, isn't it? Here, Leonard is my soul, carefully articulated and wrapped up in a neatly typed bow for you to do with as you will. And I know you'll behave responsibly toward the exceptionally precious gift that I'm presenting you today. So the answer is yes. Yes, I have some pages here.
He hands about 20 pages. Leonard looks at them. He weighs it in his hand, laughs a moment, and looks at Martin.
Pussy.
Martin shakes his head and turns away. He can't watch Leonard read. Leonard reads the first page. The others watch. Leonard drops the page on the floor. He continues to read. He paces a little. As he reads, expressionless, Martin is in agony, but he cannot look. Leonard drops another page. The others look at each other, not knowing what this means. Leonard drops another page. He continues to read, then stops himself. He rubs his eyes.
Unmistakable.
Martin
What's that supposed to mean?
startled. All the others look at him too.
Who's seen this?
Nobody. You.
And you wrote it.
Yes, of course I wrote it. I wrote it this week.
It's very good.
Fuck you.
Fuck you too. How'd you get in here anyway?
What?
Here. How did you get here? Am I not speaking English?
What do you mean here?
Here in my class, moron. Here with me.
I knew Kate from before, and she was already in the class, and she said the class was supposed to be so great and to get in, and
Yes, I know this.
and she didn't know Douglas. We both had heard of him, and I met Izzy at a party, and she said she was in it too, and thought you were some kind of genius.
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about you.
So I knew that our high school English teacher knew you. He always talked about you guys were at Yale and together. So I wrote to him and asked him, and he wrote to you, and you let me in.
Your high school English teacher? What was his name?
Mr. Gladeau, Robert Gladeau.
Bob Gladeau? I let you in because you knew Bob Gladeau. That guy was a moron. I let you in because he asked? I don't remember any of this. Okay, let's start over. Did I ever read anything you've written?
Yeah, you did. You read that.
I read this.
Well, not exactly that part. The first 20 pages of that. It's the beginning of the novel that's further in.
Are there other pages? Are the other pages as good as this?
Didn't you read them?
Fuck if I know.
You don't remember? You don't remember any of this?
Listen, Martin, I just spent 2 weeks in Somalia, and since that day, I came back. This one
Indicates Izzy.
has been fucking my brains out. So no, I don't remember much right now. I don't think I read it. There is no way I would have forgotten. Listen, this is good. You know this is good.
Martin looks at Izzy. Izzy won't look at him.
Is this all of it?
I'm sorry?
Stay with me, Martin. This is a novel. It's part of a novel. How much of it is written?
516 pages.
What else do you have? And don't tell me nothing. I'll know if you're lying. How much writing have you got stuffed in drawers and jammed up in circuits on your computer? How many pages do you have that you haven't shown a fucking soul?
A couple thousand.
Well, you're a regular Emily Dickinson. Without the charm. Welcome to the land of the living, Emily. I want to see all of it. Now, right now. Go fire up the printer.
Why?
Why do you care? I just told you you're a loser no more.
You don't know what you're talking about. You've been telling me and all of us that we don't know shit for weeks. You told Douglas to hang it up and go to Hollywood.
Don't drag me into this, please.
You are in it. We're all in it. We all paid $5,000 to be in it, and he doesn't know shit.
Are you sure you want to doubt my word right now?
I don't believe you've been fucking her all week. I don't believe it.
What?
She said she didn't. She told me.
Well, I don't know what she told you, but I got no reason to make that up.
He goes back to reading Martin's story. Martin turns to Izzy.
I don't believe him. I don't. No, answer the question.
What's the question?
Did you lie to me?
Come on, Martin, it really wasn't much of a lie. I mean, nobody believes it except for you.
Leonard looks up around the room.
Are we done with this soap opera, or are we ready to get back to work?
No, I'm not doing this.
Martin,
He doesn't know anything. Why should I let him? Why should any of us? Has it occurred to any of you that he's so mean because he's over? He can't do it anymore if he could. And this is just power. It's the only power he has anymore to destroy. And the thing he wants to destroy is young writers. It's twisted. And we're so desperate. It's pathetic, actually. We're so desperate that we're just sitting here letting him destroy our hope and our curiosity and our talent and our dreams. And why? It's nothing to him. He's God. Plus he's done so many drugs he can't even remember what he's read from one instant to the next. Plus he's unethical, which I know it's a joke to even bring that up. That's how low ethics have fallen, but I don't care. He's unethical and a bad teacher, and now I'm supposed to what? Just jump up and down and enjoy just because he said, oh, there's an unmistakable thing.
Careful. That might be true.
Nothing you say is true. You're a plagiarist. You're just a fucking plagiarist.
Silence. Leonard laughs a little to himself, picks up the pages, and flips through them.
Yeah, okay. You probably never told off your father, so you definitely need to get that off your chest.
Fuck you.
And I'm glad to provide the opportunity for you. Feels good, doesn't it? Spewing the truth. The truth is like a great fuck. It's one of those few remaining reasons to get out of bed in the morning. It's not for everybody. Some people are so crippled they can't stand the truth. But for those of us who partake, nothing really comes close. But you know what? All those other people who can't stand the truth, they're going to be a problem for you. This is why. You're a fucking nobody. Who are your parents? Nobody. Who are your connections? Nobody. Where'd you go to school? It isn't Harvard, Princeton, or Yale, so wherever it was, it doesn't matter. You're no Douglas, Martin. You're a talented nobody. Everybody is going to hate you. I mean, you'll get published. And it will get some attention, but not what it should. And then you'll write a second novel, which will mess up your brain like nothing else you've ever lived through. It'll be the worst 3 years of your life. Writing that second novel, you'll feel like you're in the ninth circle of hell, where the betrayers of Christ are frozen in eternal cannibalistic silence. Only it's not flesh you'll be consuming, it's your mind. Maybe a few years after your second novel, you'll be on to something with your third, and you'll finally get into one of those big writer colonies, but your bitterness at having been rejected 15 fucking times will take a lot of the fun out of that. You'll start to hate everyone out there who's more successful than you are. What you feel for Douglas right now is nothing compared to what's coming. But the work will be good. Everyone will keep telling you how good the writing is. It's too good to be mistaken. And that will become the bane of your existence. You might or might not get nominated for the occasional award, but you'll never make any money. Hollywood will start to look like something pretty good right about then. But you won't feel like sucking up to them either. So you'll waste months of your life wandering around that hellhole of a city, wondering why so many hacks can make a go of it out there, but you can't get arrested. You'll end up taking a university job so you can pay off your credit cards, which you ran up like some fucking woman all those years you let yourself get sucked into writing. And then you'll be really screwed. 1 year of teaching, and you'll be so sick of how stifling and boring and utterly pointless it all is. Teaching writing to a bunch of hyper-privileged, droning children. You'll start drinking even more than you already are. You'll start fucking your students, even the freshmen, especially the freshmen. They're the ones who haven't been ruined yet. And they'll be so in love with your genius, their adoration will be like a drug. And why not? Why the fuck not? The work is still great. You're a fucking artist. You have to feel something to write. Something more than just bitterness and contempt for the idiots you write for. The biggest problem with being a writer, finally, is that all Narrators are human beings, and the human race is... You'll get fired for fucking undergrads, which apparently is against the law now. One of those undergrads will make up a reckless, devastating claim, which too many people will want to believe by then. Things will continue to spiral. Your few remaining friends, maybe Douglas here, or Kate, will lend you a hand from time to time, for old time's sake. You'll let them in, and you'll take on a few editing gigs to make ends meet. And you'll be good at it, and people will like it. They'll turn you into a servant that will make them all feel great, and you'll get even more editing work, and then you'll teach privileged writing seminars, which will feel like shit for a while until you realize that you really could do something. You can help the ones worth helping if you take only the best students. And that will make it better. But you'll still be a fucking servant. Because at the moment in your life when someone said, you're a talented nobody, but I'm going to help you, you said you didn't need help. Class is over.
He goes. Blackout. Scene 9. The walls open and we're in Leonard's apartment. A rat's nest of papers and books. A ritual African mask hangs on the wall. An exquisite bronze Buddha is wedged between books on one of the shelves. The place is cluttered, vitreous of a passionately undisciplined and curious mind. In the midst of it all, a desk with a typewriter covered in papers and an overstuffed couch. The sound of a buzzer is being pushed relentlessly. After a moment, Leonard appears. He wears a bathrobe over sweatpants. He answers the door. Martin's there. He is a mess.
I have to talk to you.
Yeah, well, kid, now is not a good time.
Then we'll just, have to make this fast.
This is fast?
Look, it's not easy for me to be here.
It's not easy for me either. I'm busy.
He glances over his shoulder toward the bedroom.
I'm sure. No, I'm sure you are. But
Martin, I don't want to be indiscreet here, but I'm busy here. You understand that I'm busy.
Oh, you have someone here with you.
What gave you that idea?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Thanks. So if you don't mind,
I need my money. We were supposed to get 10 weeks, and you only gave us 4, and I paid $5,000. If you're not going to finish the classes, that's $3,000. I need it back.
Seriously, do we have to do this now?
I have to have that money.
A beat. Leonard sighs.
Well...
It's okay, Leonard. I have to take off anyway.
No.
Leonard, we've been at it for 2 days. I'm sore. Hi, Martin.
Kate?
Yes. Hello. Where
She
did I
goes to the couch and picks up her bra.
Where did I leave my panties? Do you remember?
The kitchen?
That's right.
She goes. Leonard looks at Martin.
You missed the boat, Martin. She's an animal. This is the thing about feminists. You catch one when she's right about to pop. It's like, I couldn't get her to stop. And I'm not kidding. She's sucking my balls so hard, I'm seeing stars give birth to planets on the astral plane, and it's just...
Stop.
Oh, are you squeamish about sex? Because she sure isn't.
Kate reappears holding up her panties.
I'll be right back.
She goes into the bedroom. Leonard looks at the door, looks at Martin, looks at the door.
You know what, Martin? I'm sorry about your situation, whatever it is, but this is a bad time.
He starts to follow Kate.
I'm not leaving without that money. I don't care about whatever new depravity you have managed to inflict on someone I care about. It doesn't matter. I have no place to live, and I have no money, and I will become a homeless person in this god-awful city if I don't get that money, and I'm not leaving without it.
He sits on the couch.
Why were you even in my class?
What?
Why did you even sign up? You walked out even before you
I didn't walk out. You walked out.
You
Kate
walked
opens
out.
the door and comes out, putting clothes on. Both turn and look at her.
Leonard, I need a favor.
She gives him a long, wet kiss.
I need to talk to Martin for a minute.
You want me to go take a shower?
Did you?
I could use one after that.
Thanks.
Leonard looks back at Martin, shakes his head, and goes.
What are you doing here?
You know what? That's a stupid question.
You slept with him?
Wow. We went so far beyond that. It's not really worth answering that one either.
You hate him.
I wouldn't say that, no.
You think he's disgusting. He is disgusting. And now you're here doing things with that. Fuck me, I cannot even think of words bad enough to describe the toxic piece of shit asshole. It was bad enough that Izzy was sleeping with him. That was bad enough.
But it's worse if I do. Why?
Because you have a brain.
There are other parts of my body as well, Martin. A fact you never quite notice. But guess who did?
Is that why you're doing this? To get back at me?
Wow. That is classic.
Well, is it? Is that why you kicked me out?
I kicked you out because I finally grew a spine. I kicked you out because you were completely using me. I was the one. I told you about the whole seminar because I knew you would let yourself just disappear if someone didn't. And then you had no respect. I took care of you. I was taking care of you, and you took advantage of me.
I know, because you care about me.
Well, I did.
You still do.
Oh, no, I don't.
I may not
You
deserve
don't.
it, but it's there nonetheless. You can't tell me it isn't. Come on, Kate. I'm an idiot, but the truth remains that you're
Oh, no.
You're night and day.
Okay, Martin.
You're stars and moon and wind.
He kisses her.
I said okay.
Kate, come on. We were good together, and I admit I blew it. My head was so that class was so poisonous. Leonard was so poisonous.
Don't start on Leonard. A lot of what he said worked. He actually got me to write something new and fresh.
And fraudulent.
Fraud is a way of life in a capitalist culture, especially in the arts. You should hear what Leonard has to say about it.
I don't want to talk about Leonard.
Then why do you keep bringing him up?
Why do I? Why do you? You've
done a lot for all of us. He got Douglas a meeting with Spielberg. He introduced Izzy to Salman Rushdie, who is a huge flirt and wants to help her with her drug whore book. And he set me up with this guy in prison who has one hell of a story. Random House needs someone to ghostwrite for him.
So Leonard got you a job as a ghostwriter, and you took it.
Martin, I would be crazy not to. And I thought it was pretty nice of Leonard to set it up. He was actually not an asshole about it. He managed to mention to my editor about 6 times that I had written a really shitty story about a girl who was obsessed with Jane Austen. But he was nice enough about the Cubano cross-dresser. And I like this job. I think it's a good start for someone like me. I'm excited about it.
A ghostwriter.
I knew you'd look down on it. You know what? You have a screw loose, Martin. You really do. He stood there and told all of us how good you are. He said it. And you may think he's a fucking asshole, but you know in your heart, he would never lie about something like that. And you're still eating your soul out over what? Why don't you just live it, Martin?
So what you actually like him?
Life is complicated. People are complicated. If you can't figure that out, you'll never be much of a writer. I don't care what Leonard says. Honestly, he's convinced you're the next big thing. I think it's some sort of narcissistic projection. Boys. Boys, boys, boys. You just never get enough of yourselves, do you?
She goes to the door and leaves. He sits there, alone. He thinks about going after her. He doesn't. He looks around the room. He goes to the wall and looks at the artifacts crammed among the books. He goes to look at the Buddha on the desk. While there, he starts to poke about. He looks at Leonard's pencils. He looks at the pages that have been left on the desk. He looks up to see if anyone is looking. He starts to read. Like Leonard, he drops a page to the floor, still reading. Leonard appears in the doorway. He watches for a moment as Martin reads.
Okay, that's enough.
He grabs the pages from Martin, who backs up, startled.
Get out of here.
I was just looking at.
You're just spying, you little rat. You would just give me that. Get your hands off that.
Martin is still trying to get the pages together. He shoves him aside. They stare at each other.
Sorry, I don't like for people to look at that.
Why not?
That's hilarious coming from you. You'd spend $5,000 on a writing seminar and then not let anyone read your shit. Take your money and get out of here.
He finishes writing a check, holds it out. Martin doesn't take it.
Your novel's really good.
Wow. Thanks, SpongeBob. I'll alert the New York Times.
You're not a plagiarist.
Jesus. How long is this going to go on? Because if you're thinking we're actually going to have a conversation, I'm getting a drink.
He goes into the kitchen. Martin goes back to the desk, finds the pages, and starts to read again. He reads eagerly, fascinated. Leonard re-enters, balks, and then bolts into the room.
Did you think I was kidding? I do not want you reading that. No one is allowed to read that.
What? Why not?
I don't have to tell you why not. Give me the fucking pages, Martin.
Martin takes a step back, holding them.
Why don't you show this to anybody? Why do you let people think you're not writing?
I don't give a shit what people think.
Yes, you do. You put on this whole act that you're an embittered old psychopath.
Hey, that's no act.
Who can't write. You gave us that whole speech. Boo-hoo, my career is over and I'm stuck with these losers who can't write. And meanwhile, you can. This is great. This is it's like a 19th century novel.
He stops. He has no words.
This is the 21st century, and I actually don't like people scraping their eyeballs on my work.
Why not?
He takes the pages from Martin and goes to the desk, picks up all the pages and dumps them in a drawer.
I have no skin anymore. Once it's written, I can't live with it. I can't sit in offices and talk to people about it. I can't look at cover art. I can't talk to editors. These people are so nice, and I just want to strangle them. It's completely unfair. It makes more sense just to put it on the sidewalk and let it blow away. No, not blow away, not... Jesus, I have no skin. After I write, I want to evaporate, but you don't evaporate. You're still here. Your body is just... It takes up so much space. Plus, there's so much noise. Novels need silence. Trust me, it's not the writing that's the problem. It's the everything else. That kid was a liar. To be called a thief for words, I can't even... That was 32 years ago. I can't even... Here's your check.
That's bullshit. That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard come out of your mouth. And as you know, many really fucked up, stupid things come out of your mouth.
Yeah. Nevertheless, everything I told you is true.
Get away from that desk.
This is my apartment.
I don't care. Get away from that desk or I'll hit you on the head with the Buddha.
He picks up the Buddha and tries to figure out how to do that. And considers this, then stands.
I need a drink anyway.
He stands and goes to the other side of the room, pours himself a drink. Martin goes to the desk drawer and takes out the novel. He sits it on the desk. He looks at it.
This doesn't belong to you.
Really?
It is not you. and it's not even of you. It is not yours.
Then
It
whose
is
is it?
itself. And you are not hiding it in a desk and just burying it alive. It's immoral.
Please don't talk to me about morality.
I'm taking this away from you, so you can't hurt it anymore.
He picks up the novel and edges towards the door.
Why'd you come over here anyway?
I came over to get my money.
Then why are you leaving without it? I offered it to you twice. You never even looked at it. You just told me endlessly yet again that I'm full of shit. I mean, I'm well aware I'm full of shit. Why do you need to go over and over it? What more do you want from me? Do you want my balls?
No, I don't want your balls. God, I don't even know what you're talking about half the time.
Leonard reaches onto the desk and finds a folded sheet of papers. He holds it up.
Here.
What's that?
I finally read those pages that idiot Bob Gladeau sent me. The first 20 pages of your masterpiece. I did a line edit for you. Show you what you got.
He holds out the pages, then indicates that Martin had better give his own pages back. They exchange pages. Leonard goes to the desk and puts his novel in a drawer. Martin sits and reads.
So, you think
You're just hearing too many words.
Martin continues to read. Leonard goes to the bottle of booze, fills up his own and a second glass. Martin continues to read. After a moment, he looks up.
This is fantastic.
It really is the only way you learn anything about writing. To have a decent editor go through it word by word for you. Help you see what it is, what you meant, what you didn't even know you meant.
No, it does. It really...
Yeah, you hear it different. You hear the ding.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. So you want to try this?
Martin looks at him, nervous, looks around.
What? Try what?
Relax, Romeo. You're not my type. I'm just saying, I'll work with you.
Really? Well, what would that mean?
I'm not exactly an unknown quantity, Martin. What do you think it would mean?
I have no idea.
It would mean I will fuck you up in so many different ways you won't even know who you are anymore. That seminar was the prelude. You want to make me your servant? You got Mephistopheles in your pockets. That's what it means. So what is it? How serious are you? Do you want to be a writer or not?
Martin looks at him. Leonard holds out his drink. After a long moment, Martin reaches out to take it. Blackout.